Hey everyone, it's Zach with Palantir Research. Palantir has done something it has never done before. It's doing a sponsorship of an individual athlete, but when most sports sponsorships are around products and services to sell to the masses, this one is actually very strategic, in my opinion, in upgrading the brand of Palantir, but also shows one of the most deepest ties I've seen between a country and foreign company. Not for the sole sake of money so far, at least, since they're not even getting paid. And as always, I'll sprinkle in my thoughts where three things actually come to mind. But let's get into the news first and explain this. So Palantir is deepening their support for Ukraine with sponsoring the 75th best female tennis player in the world. And actually, she is the best female tennis player in all of Ukraine, Alina Svitolina. So excuse my mispronunciation there. So to be honest, when I woke up this morning, I kind of dismissed this as nothing new, so I wasn't planning to actually do a video. But thinking more deeply about it and reading more, I think there are some more newsworthy items here. And funny point is, think of your first exposure to Palantir and you see Alina instead of Alex Karp. I'd say for the everyday man or woman, she'd be a lot more approachable and easier on the eyes hearing about Palantir than Alex Karp. But that's just a funny point there. The main gist is that Alina is partnering with Palantir to help support Ukraine. And this is all the points we've heard before, like resettling refugees, documenting war crimes, and also the biggest of them all financially, working with the eventual reconstruction of Ukraine after the war with Russia is over. So Palantir points out this is the first ever kind of sponsorship for Palantir, which is expected because you don't see defense contractors and companies usually partner with sports athletes. But this is for sure makes sense strategically for the company, for Palantir, because it shows that they're continuing to support in all aspects of Ukraine, not only in defense and war-related items, but for the eventual future of Ukraine. Alina has a foundation that supports the war, where it initially was for the typical stuff with scholarships and programs and special events for the kids in Ukraine, but has since redirected its focus to immediate needs affected by the war, like relocating Ukrainian families to tennis academies so these budding tennis athletes can still chase their dreams and have a normal life. And we get a great quote by Alina herself saying Palantir is a friend to Ukraine, where they're working with the country to fight for the right to exist basically within their borders. And she says Palantir is helping her advance her humanitarian missions. Now, of course, both sides win here, with Palantir really showing up strong for the country in all aspects, while their money and connections can actually help her advance her humanitarian work with helping the youth, which is the future of Ukraine. And just throwing in there, maybe her foundation can use some Palantir foundry, but who actually knows? It wouldn't be surprising if they offered that to her. But either way, like they mentioned, this all leads to rebuilding Ukraine because, like it or not, more than likely, even if they quote-unquote lose the war, the state of Ukraine will probably exist, and that means rebuilding will have to happen at some point. And it makes sense for Palantir to be a huge partner in this reconstruction because they've given them software for free to fight and actually provided them value. Plus, all the non-military services they've done for them, and even showing up with Alex Karp being the first to literally step into Ukraine as a Western CEO and speak with Zelensky and other top officials to defend their country and going forward. So first, monetarily, we can't put a number on the possible returns on the sponsorship, but qualitatively, Palantir's brand recognition within the country itself of Ukraine, especially, and I'd even argue Eastern Europe as a whole, this can be a strong move to show they will show up in times of war and should be considered a trustworthy company when it comes to not only defense, but also commercial aspects, because Ukraine will be rebuilding their economy after the war. And think of the countries too nearby, with the Baltic States who are NATO members. Palantir is working with Lithuania already, but also Estonia and Latvia are nearby and bordering Russia or Belarus, who have demonstrated they will invade and go against you. Well, given their NATO, I'd probably say they're not going to do that actually, but still, you're close, especially if Putin has nothing to lose at that point. So why not start World War III? And even monetarily, they aren't the most lucrative countries there, but this can add on to network effects of being a NATO ally, and being in a region close to the battlefield can add to the improvement of their products and innovation. Now, second important point is that Palantir is also trying to improve their brand in general. Right now, every hit piece says Palantir is a Peter Thiel, Trump-backed evil spy company that will steal your data. That's probably the farthest description from them as a company, concerning Alex Karp at the helm, but either way, Palantir partnering with the rebuilding of a country shows they want to help, not only in times of war, but also in times of rebuilding and peace. You can't underestimate the power of people being able to relate and feel some type of way, especially around the narrative of defending your homeland and putting a nice face to it. So the third most important one, I think, and another big point, is seeing Palantir sponsoring Alina might actually be that they're trying to create a first point of contact for the everyday person with Palantir. And that doesn't have to have those biases built around them being a spy company, Peter Thiel and backing Trump, things like that. So it's adding a fresh entry point. I'm not saying this will be the only one, but it does add another entry point for people to be exposed to Palantir for the first time. And I think this would actually be the biggest outcome of the sponsorship. Because even being in the community of Palantir, there's a lot of things we don't know about the company. Now think about people who don't know about the company at all or have nothing that relates to their everyday life. They have no idea about Palantir and their products, or even sometimes don't even know the role that they're playing in Ukraine. I'm curious to know, what are your thoughts about the sponsorship? Am I just grasping at straws here? Just let me know below, and I'll see you in the next video.